guys? We're here hanging out at Illum Central, Illum headquarters with our good friend Tony.
Yep.
I go way back with Tony from his, I don't know, like his Andromeda Theory days, and I think when you were in
late Abnett days.
Yeah. So it's been a good while, and fun fact about Tony, he's like one of the only persons in anywhere that I allow to edit my photos. So
yeah.
So it just speaks volumes as to our history, and I don't know, we just have a creative connection. So let's go ahead and get into Illum. You got a brand new band, and so like talk to us about how you went about forming Illum.
It was an idea that I had way before, back in the days in Andromeda, and I wanted a certain type of sound, a certain type of people and players, because that's what I had in mind. So it kind of took a while for me to find the singer, to find everybody that I was kind of like envisioning to have, and I feel pretty lucky that everybody has come together into this, and I think it's coming out pretty awesome. Like the music that we're doing, we have the CD, the EP coming out on May 17th. So
Illum, and what's the title of the CD?
Transform.
Transform.
Yeah, and it's a metaphor. It's like when you go from one stage of your life and you go into a whole different life change. It transforms you, who you are.
Right.
And it just makes you a different person, the way you see things and stuff like that. So that's kind of the concept of the album. Transform. Everybody transform from one point to another.
Cool. Okay, and talk to us about how. Okay, so from your past experiences, I forgot to mention. I remember you in Of Sand and Fog.
Oh yeah.
I saw you play with them one time at the Open Gate Church.
Long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was about 7 years ago.
Something like that. Yeah.
So talk to us about what you're bringing from your past experience and what you're incorporating about that into Illum.
Well, I would say a lot of stage performance. I've learned to kind of like dive myself into our creation of music and what we're doing, because if the musician and as a band they can't get into their own music, then how do you expect for other people to get into your music?
Right.
If you can't just dive yourself into it and just lose completely control of
like the message you're trying to get across, right?
Yeah, it's like
I guess you have to have like a passion for your own music, and it has to show when you perform, so that other people can be passionate.
Also, too, what Illum can bring, it's the experience that everybody has.
Yeah.
And we have Eric, we have Johnny Mo, we have good friend Steve, Aaron, and myself. We all have years of being in the El Paso music scene, and to me that kind of speaks volumes, because it showed in the writing process as we were recording. It said a lot. It takes a while to record, and especially like you're gonna be like really focused on your writing. And to me, I felt it was an easy, fun progress from beginning to end, because I felt that everybody knew what they were doing. They knew their instrument, and to me that was comfortable, because I didn't feel like, oh, we do it like this. They knew what they were doing.
Cool. Okay, real quick, last question. Talk to us. Okay, describe the sound, Illum. I know that you got a bunch of like fucking badass metalheads in your band, but what about the sound now?
The sound, it's a little bit of everything. I like metal. I like rock. I like hip hop. I like house, trance, all this type of electronic music. So I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of everything, of different genres, into one pot, and kind of stir it and see what people think. So.
Nice, yeah. We're excited for you guys to put it out to the public, man. It's gonna be badass.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
So we're here with Johnny Mo, our good show friend from like back in the War Room days, man. I remember that's the first time I saw you guys. I actually saw you and Eric, Illum's vocalist. He was a screamer before. I don't know if he's still a screamer.
He's still a screamer, but
Nice, but not on stage.
he's a different kind of screamer now.
Okay, so and you know, I've seen Johnny Mo play these like huge drum sets with a lot of pieces, and then one time I saw him scale it down quite a bit to where he had this little baby bass drum.
Yeah.
Okay, so like
It's a bass drum and a tambourine.
Yeah. So what are you doing now with Illum? As far as like
I
setup?
still scaled it down. Still using the single bass drum, you know, 1 high tom, 2 floor toms, and you know, just a basic setup. I didn't go all out, primarily because it's a pain in the ass to be a drummer with a big old drum set. So
Yeah.
you know, the setup and the teardown sucks.
I can imagine that. So what about the sound that because I've seen you, man. I've seen you tear it up, and that's like when I picture you, I see you just like fucking going crazy behind your kit. So like, what are you doing now? Is it kind of like the same style of drumming as compared to what you're doing now?
I'd say it's changed a little bit. It's a little more of a controlled chaos now. I mean, there's still a lot of fast parts. It's a little more groove now, but you know, I still throw in those little fast parts every now and then.
Your gospel chops.
Gospel chops.
Nice.
But yeah, every once in a while.
Okay, and you know, like I've heard some of the demos that have been released already, or the teasers.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's some like kind of like EDM kind of beats.
Yeah, there's a couple beats in the background that I'm not doing, obviously.
Yeah, but how do you play along to that though? If it's like EDM has never been your style.
I don't know, just figured out a way, you know. I mean, Tony threw it in there. I had to adapt and make it work. So
Improvise. Improvise and overcome.
There you go. Exactly.
Cool. Yeah, man. We're excited to see you guys at Rock House.
We're excited to finally release it. So it's been a long time. So
yeah. Now this vlog will actually be released after the show because we don't want to give away any of their secrets. So you guys will be checking out the footage of their show too. So
G14
we're excited to see you guys, man.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
So up next we got our show homie Eric Chaffino. Dude, I'll never forget the first time I saw you scream, man. It was at the War Room, and I guess it was like 2013.
Yep.
It was like the first. It was the opening show for the War Room back in the day. And when I heard you scream, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I heard a lot of other kids scream, but yours like it stood out a lot, man.
Appreciate it.
And it was just a style I appreciated watching you perform for a good while, you know. So I guess my first question is that the style that you're bringing to Illum? Are you incorporating that type, or is that a more clean vocals?
Wanted to try. Well, it's got a combination of all that. I wanted to try something, try to do something that I've tried in the past, and try to bring it to a new level. Especially with the kind of stuff that we're doing back in the days. We had that groove, we had that scream, and I guess over time it was always one of those things. Well, let's try something different. So I had talked to Mo about it, and then that's when I had talked to Tony, and he was all in it on as far as like changing up the combination of what we're doing in the past.
Yeah. So did you know before that you could do clean vocals, or is that something that you've been developing now that you're in Illum?
Well, I did it back in the days, probably 20 years ago with the band I used to be with. So I used to be 8 Stitches. We used to open up for Pissing Razors and stuff.
Oh,
so
shit, that's cool.
it was something that I had even like grown with, just seeing those guys as an idol and stuff. Especially here from El Paso. And I just saw the little combinations of all the local bands, what they were doing, and I just tried to put it all together.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I remember because Tony and I would like talk a lot about during that time that he was trying to find the members of Illum, and it wasn't even Illum yet. I don't think it was just a project that he had been envisioning. And I remember he told me, "Dude, I'm gonna talk to Eric Chaffino." I was like, "That's gonna be a big mountain to climb right there, brother." But when he told me you joined, I was like, "Dude, that's."
I mean,
you just like
even myself, I was flattered. Then it was something
escalated the new project to a different level. So, what made you say yes? Like, what did he show you what the sound was going to be? Or did he
yeah, sent me a couple
it?
of samples and stuff, and I was like, all right, something that I was looking into, trying to get on that lighter level, maybe for say,
Right.
And then at that time, the vocal range where I was trying to hit he was all into that. So he was like, well, the whole thing, it all came about was what I wanted to incorporate with I've done in the past. And then he was like, all right, I got you. So we started hitting those levels until the point where I was comfortable at hitting those pitches and all.
Nice, man. Well, we're excited to see you guys.
All right.
See you guys on the other side.
What you get when you mix a group of experienced rockers from EP to form a new project with new modern sounds. Well, check out new metal band Illum. We asked some of our friends to give us their input on their sound and performance, and this is what they had to say.
Of Illum, new band. I remember, I think the first time I saw you was with Chromatic Algorithms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the first really band that I was playing with.
Were you
shows
playing
with.
bass though? With it?
Playing bass, yeah.
Yeah.
Always played bass with any projects or any bands I've done. So.
Cool. So, but with Illum, you're doing guitar, right?
Guitars now, so I guess that's what you could say. I'm bringing to the table is playing guitar, so it's different for me, but super excited to be doing that now.
Cool. And you've been involved with the whole writing process and recording process.
Yeah.
Everybody has, right?
Everybody has, yeah. Especially, when me and Tony definitely, like, since I do that as well, like, produce music on my own, so I think it was a big help for him too, and it was fun to get to learn the process with him, like the way he does his recordings and everything, so but we worked on it closely pretty together, but everybody has their part in it.
It's cool, man. Yeah, I'm excited to see you on stage and see what you do with the guitar, because that's something you can do with a bass.
Yeah,
it'll be something
it's
cool.
different, yeah, so I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
guitar.
And one other thing that always like comes to mind is that like you're also like the creative type, like you do graphics and all that kind of stuff.
A little bit,
right?
yeah.
And that's always something that stays like on my mind is, oh, this dude's creative, man, cool. Like we could get along.
Right? Yeah.
So like, have you had a hand at all in like the graphics or any of the design for Illum? Because I know Tony's like the man
Definitely, yeah.
for that stuff, but I know that you
Yeah, definitely, like,
do some pretty badass work too.
He trusts me. For the most part, we're doing a lot of the stuff, so did have like a big part in the album cover. So when you guys check that out and pick it up at the show this Friday, so I worked on that one, and then some of the single stuff and just artwork here and there that we had to use for anything. So,
Cool.
So that was cool.
Cool. Yeah, well, we're excited to see you guys, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Cool. So we're here with Aaron. He brings up the low end.
Yep.
The bass. Aaron's kind of like an enigma to us because we really haven't seen him perform at shows before. I know you have a history though in the El Paso music scene, and you were in former bands.
I was in one band before. Well, it was two, but probably the main one that I did was called Morning Shift. But it was back in maybe 05 to about 09. Since then, I took a hiatus. I basically just would practice alone, things like that. I did a side project with one band, but it was just cover songs. And then I met up with these guys about a year ago. So,
What kind of sound were you playing back then?
I would say we were probably more like rock or hard rock.
More like dad rock.
Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. And what about now? Like, you think you've had to kind of like change your style or change the way you play because of who you're playing with?
I don't think that I had to change my style. I've always been influenced by metal or even like hard rock and things like that. And I think the band does have a pretty good edge when it comes to some songs that are a little bit slower, more melodic, and then we got some stuff that's a little bit faster. And I could do either or, so it all works out. I think I'm a perfect fit for the band. So
nice. So you play guitar too, or just straight bass?
I've played guitar before. You know, I've dabbled with it, but in the band, solely just bass, and I do some backup vocals. So you guys will hear me doing backup vocals.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know that. Backup vocals here.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so we're excited to see you guys. Aaron, it's good talking to you, man. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you.